It's like 2:3 in the afternoon, right? You are sitting at your desk, just staring at a spreadsheet, and the numbers are completely blurring together.
Oh, yeah, we know that feeling.
Your eyelids feel like they weigh, 10 pounds each, and you would give almost anything to just crawl right onto your desk and take a nap.
We have all been there.
We really have. And usually in that moment, you start blaming yourself. You think, well, it's a lack of willpower, or maybe you just didn't sleep enough the night before.
Right, you internalize it.
Exactly. But today, on this deep dive, we have a stack of sources centered around a wellness script focused on clean eating lunch ideas. And honestly, it completely shatters that guilt.
It really does.
We are going to completely deconstruct the midday meal because that 3:000 p.m. crash you feel, it is not a character flaw. It is a biological system failure caused entirely by what you put in your body at 12:30.
It is a profound shift in perspective, when you realize that digestion is one of the most energy-intensive processes your body performs.
Yeah, but we don't even think about it like that.
No, we don't. But when you feel that overwhelming sluggishness, your body is sending you a glaring biological signal.
Like an alarm going off.
Pretty much. It is actively diverting blood flow and resources away from your brain, and it's pulling them down into your gastrointestinal tract to deal with, well, a metabolic emergency. Because the food you ate was so heavy, so refined, or so synthetic that your system is essentially panicking trying to process it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because I think most of us view digestion as this quiet, passive thing that just sort of hums along in the background while we work.
Right, like an invisible process.
Yeah, but looking at the mechanisms in these sources, eating a heavy, highly processed lunch is like forcing your computer to run a massive, incredibly complex operating system update right in the middle of your busiest workday.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
Right. You've got 10 tabs open, you are trying to, render a video file, and suddenly the entire system just grinds to a halt because all the processing power is being sucked up by this heavy background task. And the spinning wheel of death on your screen, that is your brain fog.
Which means we need to look at what specific foods trigger that massive background update.
Yeah, what's causing the glitch?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, when you eat a typical convenience lunch, let's say a massive deli sandwich on thick commercial bread with a side of chips, you're consuming a huge load of refined carbohydrates and heavy oils.
Just a huge carb bomb.
Right. And your body breaks those refined carbs down into glucose almost instantly.
Which floods the system.
Exactly. It floods into your bloodstream, causing a massive vertical spike in your blood sugar.
And as we all know, what goes up must come crashing down.
Violently.
Yeah.
To counteract that toxic level of sugar in your blood, your pancreas dumps a huge surge of insulin to clear the glucose out.
Like an emergency response.
Yes, but that rapid clearing causes your blood sugar to plummet well below baseline. That sudden, steep drop is the 3:00 p.m. wall.
So it's a literal lack of fuel.
Your brain literally senses a fuel shortage. It triggers fatigue, cravings for more sugar, and that desperate need for a fourth cup of coffee.
So to avoid the crash, we have to engineer a lunch that keeps our blood sugar as flat as a board, right?
Precisely.
Our source material outlines a very specific clean eating formula to do exactly that. Before we even talk about recipes, the biological requirement for a successful lunch is a combination of 4 things.
4 key pillars.
Yep. Fiber-rich greens or complex carbohydrates, clean, lean proteins, healthy fats, and a burst of fresh flavor.
The magic is really in how those 4 elements interact in your digestive tract.
How so?
Well, the fiber acts as a physical net, slowing down the release of any glucose into your bloodstream. It turns a sudden spike into a slow, sustained trickle of energy.
So no spinning wheel of death.
Right, no crashes. Then the clean protein provides the amino acids, the physical building blocks that your neurotransmitters require to maintain focus and alertness.
Okay, and the fats?
The healthy fats trigger satiety hormones in your brain, ensuring you aren't, hunting for sugary snacks an hour later.
But knowing the biological formula and actually wanting to eat it are 2 very different things.
Obviously.
I mean, nobody wants to sit at their desk chewing through a sad pile of dry lettuce just feeling punished. So how do we translate this biology to a plate?
It doesn't have to be a sad salad.
Right. Our sources point to the ultimate vehicle for this formula, the Nourish Bowl, or some people call it the Buddha Bowl.
The Nourish Bowl is essentially a customizable template designed specifically to hit every single biological marker we just discussed without sacrificing volume or texture.
Okay, so how do we build it?
You construct it from the bottom up. First, you lay down a base of dark, leafy greens.
Like what?
Baby spinach, peppery arugula, or shredded kale. These provide immense physical volume to stretch your stomach receptors and signal fullness, but they require almost zero digestive effort from your body.
Got it. But I am looking at the next layer in the source, and I have to push back here for a second.
Okay, what is it?
It says to add complex carbohydrates and specifically suggests cooked quinoa, brown rice, or roasted sweet potato cubes.
Wait a minute. Didn't we just establish that carbohydrates are the enemy?
Not all carbohydrates.
Because if I eat a giant bowl of sweet potatoes, isn't my blood sugar gonna spike and put me right back to sleep?
I get why you'd think that, but that is the crucial difference between refined carbohydrates and complex whole food carbohydrates.
Okay, explain the difference.
So, a piece of white bread has been milled and stripped of its fiber, so it hits your bloodstream like a shot of pure syrup.
Right, the instant spike.
But a sweet potato or a scoop of quinoa still has its natural cellular structure entirely intact. It is bound up in a thick matrix of fiber.
So your body has to work harder for it.
Exactly. Your digestive enzymes have to work slowly to unspool those carbohydrates, meaning the energy is released over the course of 3 or 4 hours instead of 30 minutes.
Oh, I see.
It is a slow-burning log on the fire, rather than a piece of newspaper that just flares up and vanishes. That makes perfect sense. So we have the slow-burn carbs, then we add the structural integrity of the bowl, which is the protein,
Right, the building blocks.
like leftover grilled chicken breast, a handful of chickpeas, or some big tofu. And finally, the source emphasizes loading the bowl up with color and crunch.
Color's key.
Shredded purple cabbage, sliced cucumbers, grated carrots, bright cherry tomatoes. But is that just to make it look pretty on social media, or is there a functional purpose to all that color?
Oh, it is highly functional.
Yeah.
The vibrant colors are visual indicators of different phytonutrients and antioxidants.
Okay, and what do those do for the 3.00 p.m. crash?
Well, when your brain is working hard, your neurons generate metabolic waste, essentially cellular exhaust.
Cellular exhaust, wow.
Yeah, and phytonutrients actively cross the blood-brain barrier and help clear out that oxidative stress.
So the purple cabbage is actually doing something up there.
Yes. The purple in the cabbage, for instance, comes from anthocyanins, which are heavily linked to improved memory and cognitive function. So the color is literally brain food.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because you can build this absolute masterpiece of a nourish bowl.
A beautiful bowl.
You have your slow-burn quinoa, your cognitive-boosting purple cabbage, your perfectly grilled chicken, and then right at the finish line, people completely sabotage the entire thing with store-bought salad dressing.
It is the ultimate hidden trap in the wellness world.
It really is.
Store-bought dressings masquerade as health foods, but if you flip the bottle around and read the label, they're almost universally built on a foundation of cheap, highly inflammatory soybean oil,
Not to mention the emulsifier.
emulsifiers, and a staggering amount of hidden sugar. Even the ones proudly labeled, light or low fat. They simply remove the fat and replace it with high fructose corn syrup to make it actually taste palatable.
Which means pouring that dressing over your superfood bowl is like buying $1 million high-performance sports car and then filling the gas tank with cheap, contaminated fuel.
The engine is going to sputter.
Yeah, you are initiating the exact blood sugar spike and insulin crash that you just spent 20 minutes building a bowl to avoid.
The entire biological strategy is totally ruined.
So what's the fix?
The source provides a 2-minute alternative that avoids the trap entirely. You just bypass the bottled stuff and use high-quality extra virgin olive oil, a heavy squeeze of fresh lemon juice, a splash of apple cider vinegar, and a pinch of sea salt and black pepper.
Just shaking that up right in the bottom of the bowl.
Exactly. And it does more than just taste fresh.
How so?
The extra virgin olive oil provides highly bioavailable monounsaturated fat. Your body requires that fat to actually absorb the fat-soluble vitamins hidden in your dark leafy greens.
Wait, really? So without the oil?
Without the fat, those nutrients just pass right through you.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
Furthermore, the acetic acid in the apple cider vinegar and the citric acid in the lemon physically slow down the rate at which your stomach empties.
Which helps with the slow burn carbs.
Precisely. That acid blunts the glycemic response of the quinoa or the sweet potatoes even further, ensuring an incredibly flat, stable energy curve all afternoon.
But okay, nourish bowls require a fork, a plate, and, well, the luxury of sitting down.
Which not everyone has.
Exactly. What happens to that perfectly balanced blood sugar formula when you are running late, jumping between meetings, and you need to eat with one hand?
Right, the on-the-go scenario.
For most of us, that means grabbing a sandwich. And the sandwich is where the biology completely turns against us.
The sandwich is a logistical marvel for eating on the go. But nutritionally, a standard commercial sandwich is a metabolic disaster, almost entirely because of the bread.
Just the bread?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Most commercial white or whole wheat breads are heavily processed and packed with synthetic dough conditioners and artificial preservatives.
The source mentions dough conditioners, but what actually is that? What is a dough conditioner physically doing to us?
So commercial bakeries use chemical dough conditioners to artificially speed up the proofing process, create an unnaturally soft texture, and allow the bread to sit on a grocery store shelf for 3 weeks without molding.
3 weeks is a long time for bread to just sit there.
Exactly. And when you consume these synthetic additives, your body does not recognize them as food.
So what does it do?
Your immune system spots these foreign chemicals in your gut and mounts a mild inflammatory response.
So it literally treats the bread like an intruder.
Exactly. I mean, think about the mechanics of that. When your immune system triggers inflammation in the gut, your body suddenly diverts huge amounts of energy and resources to your digestive tract to handle the perceived threat.
More background updates.
Yes, that means oxygen and energy are pulled away from your brain. Add in the heavy, empty, refined flour of the bread itself, and you have created the perfect recipe for profound brain fog.
Okay, so commercial bread is out. But if we ditch the bread, aren't we just eating a sad, naked pile of deli turkey and some loose spinach?
It doesn't have to be sad.
Because that does not sound like a meal that is going to keep me happy or full.
The sources offer some fantastic structural alternatives that bypass the inflammation entirely.
What are we talking about?
Well, the crispest, most hydrating option is using large, sturdy leaves like romaine hearts or butter lettuce as a wrap.
Okay, lettuce wraps.
But if you truly crave that dense, bready texture holding your meal together, the biological hack is to use a 100% sprouted whole grain wrap.
Why does sprouted matter? Isn't grain just grain?
Not at all. A true sprouted grain has been allowed to germinate before it is milled.
Germinate, like start to grow.
Exactly. That sprouting process physically breaks down the phytic acid in the grain.
And what does phytic acid do?
It normally locks up nutrients and makes them hard to digest. By breaking it down through sprouting, the wrap becomes incredibly easy on your digestive system, and the vitamins and minerals become instantly bioavailable.
That's a great hack.
It gives you the mechanical function of bread without the heavy, glue-like inflammatory response in your gut.
So we have a safe vessel. Let's talk about what actually goes inside, because I feel like the fillings are where people panic.
They do tend to overcomplicate it.
The classic sandwich uses a heavy spread of mayonnaise. We obviously can't use standard mayo if we are avoiding inflammatory oils, right?
Right. The smartest nutritional swap here is using mashed avocado in place of mayonnaise.
Oh, that sounds good.
You achieve that identical, creamy, rich mouthfeel that makes a sandwich satisfying, but you are replacing inflammatory vegetable oils with dense, healthy, monounsaturated fats.
Which the brain loves.
Loves. Your brain tissue is nearly 60% fat, and it relies on these specific healthy fats to maintain the myelin sheath around your neurons.
The myelin sheath.
Yeah, that dictates how fast your brain can process information.
I love that. Creamy but functional. And for the protein layer.
You want clean, nitrate-free turkey breast. Or for a plant-based option, smashed chickpeas mixed with a little lemon juice, olive oil, and fresh herbs.
Wait, I want to circle back to the turkey. The source specifically calls out nitrate-free turkey. Are nitrates just another preservative, or do they actually contribute to the afternoon slump?
Nitrates are heavily used in conventional deli meats to preserve the pink color and prevent bacterial growth.
Right.
The problem is that when consumed in high amounts, nitrates can interfere with how your red blood cells carry oxygen.
Real?
Yes. And if your blood isn't delivering oxygen efficiently to your brain tissue, you are going to feel physically exhausted and prone to yawning all afternoon.
Wow, less oxygen to the brain equals yawning. That makes total sense.
Choosing nitrate-free meat completely removes that variable.
So we have our sprouted wrap, our mashed avocado, our clean turkey, or smashed chickpeas.
And then you must layer in the crunch.
The crunch.
Cucumber ribbons, shredded carrots, fresh sprouts. Biologically, the high water content in cucumbers provides cellular hydration.
And psychologically.
Psychologically, the auditory crunch signals to your brain that you are eating a substantial fresh meal, which triggers deep satiety.
So you actually feel full.
This specific combination gives you the convenience of eating with your hands while keeping your afternoon cognitive function completely intact.
All right, so we have the Nourish Bowl for the home office and the clean lettuce wrap for when you are on the move.
Right.
But there is a third category of listener out there, the meal prep warriors.
Ah, the Sunday preppers?
Exactly. The people who spend Sunday afternoon prepping lunches for the entire week. Their biggest fear isn't a lack of time. Their biggest enemy is moisture.
Moisture's a real problem.
Nobody wants to open a container on Wednesday and find a sad, soggy, depressing swamp of a salad.
Moisture migration is the death of meal prep. The moment an acidic dressing touches a delicate spinach leaf, the acid and the salt begin physically breaking down the cellular walls of the greens.
Just melting them.
Basically. The leaf collapses, releases its own water, and you are left with mush.
Which brings us to the structural engineering of the mason jar salad. This is genuinely my favorite part of the source material.
It is so clever.
Building a mason jar salad is exactly like building a house. You would never put the fragile, delicate roofing shingles down on the ground and then stack heavy, wet bricks directly on top of them.
The entire structure would just collapse.
Exactly. You have to respect the physics of the materials.
What's fascinating here is how the source uses a tall glass jar to solve this exact physics problem through gravity and proximity.
Okay, walk us through the construction of this house, layer 1.
By stacking ingredients vertically, you are deliberately quarantining the corrosive liquids away from the vulnerable greens. So layer 1 is the foundation.
The dressing.
Yes. This is where your wet ingredients live. The olive oil, the lemon juice, the apple cider vinegar dressing always goes in first, sitting right at the bottom of the glass.
So the threat is contained at ground zero. What goes in layer 2?
Layer 2 serves as the bricks from your analogy. These are your dense, hard vegetables that will not absorb the dressing.
Like what?
In fact, they actually benefit from sitting in that acidic marinade for 3 days. You drop in whole cherry tomatoes, thick chunks of cucumber, diced bell peppers, or whole chickpeas.
They create a physical waterproof barrier over the dressing.
They protect the upper levels. Precisely.
All right, what's next?
Then, for layer 3, you introduce your complex carbs and proteins. Your quinoa, your chopped grilled chicken, your baked tofu.
Why not put those at the bottom?
Because these ingredients are slightly absorbent, so you want them elevated above the liquid pool, resting safely on the hard vegetables.
Got it. And finally, we put the roof on the house.
The shingles. At the very top of the jar, shoved up against the lid, and as far away from the acidic foundation as physically possible, you pack in your delicate leafy greens.
The arugula, the spinach, the fresh herbs.
Exactly.
It is brilliant. 3 days later, it's 12:30 p.m. You take that jar out of the office fridge, unscrew the lid, and flip it completely upside down onto a plate.
Gravity reversed.
Yes. The delicate greens fall onto the plate first, creating the bed. The chicken and quinoa fall next. The marinated vegetables tumble out on top of that. And finally, the dressing that was trapped at the bottom cascades perfectly over the entire meal at the exact second you are ready to eat it.
Every single ingredient maintains its structural integrity.
It's like magic.
It really proves that eating a biologically optimized, clean meal doesn't have to conflict with extreme convenience. It just requires 10 extra seconds of structural planning on Sunday.
So what does this all mean?
Right.
If we zoom out and look at the underlying theme connecting the Nourish Bowls, the sprouted wraps, and the engineered jars, I think the primary takeaway for you listening is this. Lunch is not an annoying interruption to your workflow.
It shouldn't be.
Right. It shouldn't be an afterthought where you just blindly shovel convenience food into your mouth while answering emails. Lunch is a vital strategic opportunity to manipulate your own biology.
Food is metabolic fuel.
Exactly. And you don't need a culinary degree to fix the afternoon slump. Just pulling one single strategy from today, swapping standard bread for a sprouted wrap, or building one perfectly layered jar, or just making that 2-minute olive oil dressing can drastically alter the trajectory of your entire afternoon.
The source frames this beautifully as the 20-minute investment.
The 20-minute investment.
We tell ourselves we don't have 20 minutes to prepare a vibrant, real food meal, so we spend those 20 minutes in a fast food drive-through line or eating a heavy deli sandwich.
Because it feels faster.
But the biological tax you pay for that convenience is losing the next 3 hours of your day to brain fog, fatigue, and lethargy.
Which slows you down way more than 20 minutes.
Exactly. Investing 20 minutes into clean fuel pays immediate, massive dividends in your mood, your focus, and your output from 1.000 to 5:00 p.m.
And that leads to a really provocative thought to leave you with today.
Feel it.
In corporate culture, we obsess over productivity hacks.
Oh, constantly.
We download the latest time tracking apps. We meticulously color code our digital calendars. We try all these complex scheduling matrices to squeeze every drop of efficiency out of our workdays.
Right.
But if a simple 20-minute clean eating reset has the power to dictate our cellular energy, our neurotransmitter function, and our mental clarity for the entire second half of the day, is it possible that prioritizing our biological fuel is actually the ultimate time management tool?
It makes you wonder if we are solving for the wrong variable entirely.
Right. If you are forcing your internal computer to run a massive, exhausting digestive background update right at 1:00 p.m., no scheduling app or calendar trick in the world is going to stop your system from crashing.
Absolutely true.
If you aren't feeding the machine right, the software doesn't matter. Something to mull over the next time you find yourself staring blankly at a spreadsheet wondering why your eyelids feel so heavy.
It's all connected.
It really is. Until next time, keep optimizing, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.